Hi, this is Flipped Poetry number 2, homework for Thursday night going into Friday's class. Again, we're going to be building on our figurative language inventory or literary term inventory, focusing on symbol and allegory, paradox, oxymoron, and then hyperbole, loperbly, and irony, or hyperbole, understatement, irony. So obviously, you guys know what a symbol is. Just relationship between a metaphor and a symbol sometimes gets confused. Metaphor means something other than what it is, and a symbol means what it is, but also something more. Symbols are also sometimes problematic, perplexing, but also an incredible tool for the writer as well as a reader drawing meaning out of a text. They vary in the degree of identification, and because of the lack of black and white aspects to whether something is a symbol, some turn to go the whole other way. It means you can make a symbol mean anything. I think that is wrong, and I'm considering it a disease, although that's hyperbole, I guess. So here's a poem from your packet called Incident, and the question on the bottom is, what does the incident symbolize? I'll simply read it to you. Once riding in old Baltimore, head filled with glee, I saw a Baltimorean keep looking straight at me. Now I was 8 and very small, and he was no whit bigger, and so I smiled, but he poked out his tongue and called me the N-word. I saw the whole of Baltimore from May until December. Of all the things that happened there, that's all that I remember. So what does the incident symbolize? Is it a savage injury that wipes out all other experiences, or shades them, or colors them? That's what it seems to be implying. Another poem we're going to be reading in the packet is called The Unknown Citizen, and it is it's an allusion to the tomb of the unknown soldier. Lots of different countries have this tomb. The tomb is there to symbolize or represent the loss of life of the soldier, even when no remains could be found in order for a proper burial. And it is used by W.H. Auden in his poem, The Unknown Citizen, for a satirical purpose. We know that the unknown soldier makes the ultimate sacrifice of his life, or her life, I suppose. And the same question is posed in The Unknown Citizen. What is his sacrifice? Another poem that incorporates symbolism from the packet is called The Writer. I mention it here and just show it that, on line 16, the speaker references a dazed starling, a bird, which is a symbol for the daughter. Earlier in the poem, he makes references with metaphor to his daughter. Allegory. Allegory is connected to symbolism because it's a system of symbols, but allegory really describes a narrative. If you say something is an allegory, you're describing a story that is built upon a system of symbolism that works together to create two stories, at least two stories, one a surface level and one an ulterior level. Paradox, apparent contradiction that is nevertheless somehow true. And it can be a statement or a situation, and it's considered figurative language because paradoxical statement, usually the contradiction stems from one of the words being used figuratively or in more than one sense. Let's see if you can spot them in these examples. Life's too important to be taken seriously. We must believe in free will. We have no choice. This is probably true, for me at least. I love humankind. It's people I can't stand. Maybe they can't stand me. I am not sincere, even when I say I am not. And that also sounds like me. And my favorite paradox: always remember that you are absolutely unique, just like everyone else. Moving on. Let's see if you can spot the paradox in this poem, Much Madness is Divinest Sense by Emily Dickinson. Much madness is divinest sense to a discerning eye. Check out that discerning eye over there. Much sense is the starkest madness. 'Tis the majority in this, as all that prevails. Assent, and you are sane. Demur, and you're straightway dangerous and handled with a chain. So madness is the divinest sense, common sense, to a discerning eye. There's the paradox. Our girl Emily likes the paradox. Let's see if you can see some in here. I taste a liquor never brewed from tankard scooped in pearl. Not all the Frankfurt berries yield such an alcohol. Inebriate of air am I, and debauchee of dew, reeling through endless summer days from inns of molten blue. When landlords turn the drunken bee out of the foxglove's door, when butterflies renounce their dreams, I shall but drink the more. Till seraphs swing their snowy hats and saints to windows run to see the tippler, hey, that's me, leaning against the sun. So clearly, the speaker here is inebriated, is drunk, but on a liquor that's never been brewed. Hence, she's high on nature. After all, dew is part of nature, and the reeling summer days from inns of molten blue, the sky. Foxglove can be a landlord, a keeper of a drunken bee in there to pollinate. And the same idea is with the butterflies. Enough from a oxymoron is closely related to a paradox. It is simply when the idea of a paradox is reduced to a two-word phrase. Wise fool, raging sweetness, and Romeo has a whole slew of them there. And then we have overstatement and understatement, or hyperbole and low-perbole. She traveled 1,000,000 miles to see him. After completing the 1,000,000-mile journey, she said, it was no big deal. There's overstatement and understatement for you. And then of course, we have irony. Learn more about it. We all know verbal, dramatic, and situational. Sarcasm and satire. This is review. This was part of our short story unit. I think the analogies work here. Sarcasm is cruel as a bully is cruel. It intends to hurt. Satire is both cruel and kind, as a surgeon is both cruel and kind. It gives hurt, meaning a surgeon will cut you open, but in the interest of helping the patient. And the difference, they both hurt, but they have a different intention. And irony has no intention. It's a tool. Let's see if you think this poem would fit best as being described as satirical or sarcastic. Pay attention to the repetition of the first line. It's called Southern Cop by Sterling Brown. Let us forgive Ty Kendricks. The place was Darktown. He was young, his nerves were jittery, the day was hot. The Negro ran out of the alley, and so Ty shot. Let us understand Ty Kendricks. The Negro must have been dangerous because he ran, and there was a rookie with a chance to prove himself a man. Let us condone Ty Kendricks if we cannot decorate. When he found what the Negro was looking for, it was too late. And all we can say for the Negro, it was unfortunate. Let us pity Ty Kendricks. He has been through enough. Standing there, his big gun smoking, rabbit scared, all alone. And then, can you imagine? He has to hear the wenches wail and the dying Negro moan. Satire or sarcasm? You decide. But justify.